Hey everybody, welcome to my Suburban Oasis. Today we're going to repot a couple of my urns here, which I absolutely adore. And if it starts pouring during this video, I'm going to be so happy. I'll run inside and then we'll come back out and finish it. But we haven't gotten any rain for a long time. I think it's coming. Alright, well, we'll see you in a few. Okay guys, we're back. We're going to do this repotting. I think we just got about an inch of rain in like the last half hour, so it's so exciting because things are finally gonna be like, water. Anyways, if you're enjoying my channel, please subscribe, give me a thumbs up on this video, even hit that notification bell to get notified whenever a new video comes out. So what I'm gonna do today is take all of the pansies that are in this out, and they're looking super fabulous, and my husband was like, why would you take those out? Well, it is the hot part of the summer. We're in June now, and they're just going to start drooping all day long beginning at about 10 a.m. and they won't look good. But if I take them out and I plant them into the yard, I can probably get a little bit more life out of them. And hey, maybe some of them will come back next year where I plant them in the yard. So let me show you what I'm going to plant in here before we get started. Alright, so for those of you who have seen my videos, you know I have two matching concrete urns, just like this one, that are on either side here by the fountain. And so I'm going to pot them up with some annuals. And in the center, I'm going to be placing this Monrovia Mystic Spires Salvia. This is one I haven't grown before, so I'm really excited about it. I love the color of it. I absolutely love perennial salvia, so I'm hoping this one performs just as well. This one loves direct sun, and it gets to be about 12 to 18 inches wide, and so this one's going to be right in the center. So this is going to be the tallest one in here, and it is an annual. It says that it is hardy down to 10 degrees. So that's not too shabby. That'll last a pretty long time. And then as some of the filler in this arrangement, I'm going to use these Sunpatiens, and these are a really pretty pink color, and they belong in full sun as well. They get 18 to 36 inches big, so these will be almost as big as the purple, and so these are going to be the maximum impact plants in this planter. And then in addition to those, I'm going to try to fit in this Petochoa. This is a super light yellow Petochoa by Monrovia, and it's also an annual that goes in direct sun, and it is 12 to 16 inches high, but it is a very wide and spreading one. So this one will helpfully fall over the side, and I plan to place this one towards the pool, that direction, which is the south. And this one is hardy down to 32 degrees. So this one will not really take a frost. All right, and then finally, on the inside of this planter right here, I'm going to point these towards each other. This is Bacopa, and it's called Megacopa Blue Bacopa. This is by Monrovia, and again, it's a full sun, and it gets 4 to 6 inches high, 12 to 18 inches wide, and it is hardy down to 32, so it also will not take a frost. All right, well, let's get started pulling these plants out. I'm going to put them in a tub that I have next to me so that I can save them for replanting. And then I have some soil in this container in front of me that I'm going to mix with a little bit of biotone because I haven't been impressed by this potting soil. So I think it needs a little bit of extra oomph. Most of these pansies I planted this spring. The ones right in the middle that are the violas, some of these are violas and some of them are pansies, but the lighter color ones in the center are ones that I planted last fall that actually wintered over. So I definitely am going to make sure when I plant them into the landscape that I find a good spot for them because they have a fair chance of coming back next year. Some people will treat these solely as annuals and won't plant them out in their landscape. But I like to get the most bang for my buck, so I do that. A lot of people will just pull them out, toss them, or maybe put them in their compost pile, which is fine. But again, to me, if I'm going to buy some flowers, I want to get the most out of them I possibly can. So as you can see, I have an entire tub of pansies and violas here, and that's why I don't want to toss them out completely. So these will be just fine for several hours while I get these replanted, and even overnight since it just rained on them if I need to plant them out tomorrow. All right, so next up I'm going to fill this tub right here of soil with a little bit of biotone and mix it in. Okay, so I've just put 2 small pots of the biotone in here, and I'm just going to mix it around. I don't think I'm going to use all of this soil, otherwise I would put more in and mix it in more thoroughly. All right. So we're going to start with the centerpiece here. One of the things I always like to look at when I get the plants is how root bound they are. And especially if they have this little cap on the bottom, just pull those roots right completely off. If they're not too bad, you can just pull a little off. I'll set that right in the center. So this is a good example of one that's pretty well root bound. I'm actually just going to tear those roots right off. This one will go on the inside here. Now we have the Petochoa that we're going to put in. And again, this white layer of roots on the outside, just going to pull that straight off. Lucky for me, today I'm not going to have to water anything in because it has been thoroughly watered by the rain. And finally, this Bacopa. Alright, let's get them a little evenly spaced in there. And now I'm just going to scoop the soil around them. And it's super easy. Now the one thing about containers that makes me a little crazy is how they need to fill in over time. Because if you've watched my channel, you know that I really like things to be very full. And so with these, I just have to be patient and wait for them to fill out. And with containers, if you're doing full sun, it is very important to have a little bit of soil between the roots and the outer container. Wow, I've got a bird that's talking to me a lot here. I think they're singing the Happy, Happy Joy song after all of this rain. Wonder if anybody else remembers that Happy, Happy Joy, Joy song. Now the only reason that I might use a little bit of water on these is because the plants are already wet and they have some soil stuck on their leaves, but I will probably let them dry out a little bit before I do that, because honestly there was so much rain that we just got. These are so wet. So I think I'll let these settle in. It's good that the soil I'm using is not too wet. Okay, I'm gonna do the other one and then I'll give you a close-up view of what both planters look like. Okay, so I'm just about done now and I will give you guys a close-up, but what I do want to tell you before I do that is I haven't told you yet that these were all clearance plants. So this one was $2, $4, $2, and $4. So for this entire pot that is going to fill out for me, I have spent a total of $12 on each one, so that's $24. I could have spent a whole lot more because that was like sometimes 50% off, sometimes even slightly more than 50% off. So I think I got a great deal here. And what I will likely do after this video is over is just cut these back. If you want to show, if you want me to show you that whole process at some point, I can do that. But if you want to check out some of my clearance plants videos, I do show how I kind of rehab plants by rehydrating them, clipping them back, deadheading them, and all of the things that goes into grooming some clearance plants and making them happy again. So for the purposes of this video, I'm just going to show you what these look like. Okay, so here's what one of them looks like. I did clean the edges of the pot off and did just a quick spritz to try to get some of the water off of the flowers so you could see what they would look like. But I think it's going to be a really nice combination over here in terms of how it fits in with the plantings and the fountain area. And it will be just wonderful to see it as it flushes out. And so we'll look at the other one over here, which also looks really nice with the other plantings that are near it as well. So I'm really pleased with how these have turned out. And again, I'm probably going to do a little bit of cutting back, but I really like them. And I have a little bit of a mess back here. I'm just going to show you a little secret here at the end if you stayed tuned for this whole video. These blocks, I'm going to start using some of these pavers where my paths are in my woodland garden, because these have been pulled out as my husband surprised me when I came back from vacation. You can see all the water right now, but this gorgeous patio that he laid looks so much nicer than what it was before, and he redid the whole retaining wall for me. Wasn't that nice? Isn't that amazing? I just love it. And it actually matches some of the other pavers that we have at the bottom of our deck landing and in front of our storage shed. Well, thanks for joining me today. It's starting to rain again. Hopefully we don't get a whole lot more, but I don't mind. Next up, we're going to do another garden tour for you, and we'll take a look at some of the plants that are in pots, as well as where my hibiscuses are coming up at the end of the pool, and some of the areas we haven't looked at before, as well as just what's blooming and what's coming on now that we're getting into mid-June. Well, thanks again for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this. We'll see you next time. Bye!